Let's get ready for the Mississippi Real Estate Exam with 100 questions covering the state-specific laws, principles, and practices you'll need to know. And don't miss what's happening in the bottom corner. It could be key to your exam prep. We'll tell you how in a minute. Now let's get started.
Let's start with a review of Mississippi real estate law and practice. Fair housing laws in Mississippi. What is prohibited under Mississippi fair housing laws regarding discrimination in housing practices? Is it A, discriminating based on race when selling property? B, offering different lease terms based on smoking preference? C, declining a buyer who cannot secure financing? Or D, advertising properties exclusively for retirees? The answer is A, discriminating based on race when selling property. Mississippi fair housing laws prohibit discriminatory practices in real estate transactions based on race, color, national origin, religion, sex, familial status, and disability. What is one of the key responsibilities of the Mississippi Real Estate Commission in regards to fair housing? Is it A, enforcing national rental price caps? B, regulating interstate real estate transactions? C, setting minimum housing standards for new constructions? Or D, ensuring compliance with state fair housing laws? The answer is D, ensuring compliance with state fair housing laws. The Mississippi Real Estate Commission ensures compliance with fair housing laws, which prohibit discrimination in housing-related activities based on certain protected characteristics. This ensures equal housing opportunities for all individuals.
Have you noticed the code in the bottom corner? Next time you're stumped, take that code to birdsey.ai for immediate help and a free study session with Birdsey, your personal AI study partner. Plus, you'll get access to hundreds of additional questions, helping you move closer to passing your exam with confidence. The next time you're feeling unsure or stuck, give it a try.
Which of the following is a protected class under the Mississippi Fair Housing Act? Is it A, marital status, B, race, C, employment status, or D, educational background? The answer is B, race. The Mississippi Fair Housing Act mirrors federal law by protecting classes such as race, color, national origin, sex, disability, and familial status. Protection against discrimination based on race is fundamental to these laws. Can a landlord in Mississippi legally refuse to make reasonable accommodations for a tenant with a disability? Is it A, no, unless the accommodations impose undue financial or administrative burdens? B, yes, if they have less than 10 rental units? C, yes, if the tenant does not disclose their disability? Or D, no, under any circumstances? The answer is A, no, unless the accommodations impose undue financial or administrative burdens. Mississippi fair housing laws mandate landlords to provide reasonable accommodations for disabled tenants, except when it significantly burdens them. In Mississippi, which statement regarding reasonable accommodations for disabled persons in rental housing is correct? Is it A, landlords can charge an additional rent to cover accommodation costs? B, landlords must allow reasonable accommodations at the tenant's expense? C, landlords can deny any modifications to the property? Or D, tenants can demand any changes they deem necessary, regardless of cost? The answer is B, landlords must allow reasonable accommodations at the tenant's expense. Under the fair housing laws, landlords must make reasonable accommodations for renters with disabilities but are not required to pay for modifications. Such accommodations ensure disabled individuals have equal access to housing. Which protected class was added by the Mississippi Fair Housing Act beyond the federal standards? Is it A, race, B, color, C, age, or D, disability? The answer is C, age. The Mississippi Fair Housing Act aligns with federal standards and does not list age as an additional protected class beyond what is federally mandated. Under the Mississippi Fair Housing Law, which group is not protected against discrimination in housing? Is it A, race, B, gender, C, marital status, or D, disability? The answer is C, marital status. The Mississippi Fair Housing Law does not explicitly list marital status as a protected characteristic, focusing instead on more traditionally recognized categories. Real estate contracts in Mississippi. In Mississippi, what must a real estate contract include to be legally enforceable? Is it A, verbal agreement, B, written agreement, C, electronic signatures only, or D, notarized signatures? The answer is B, written agreement. In Mississippi, a real estate contract must be in writing to be legally enforceable according to the statute of frauds. While electronic signatures are valid, the entire agreement must be documented. Which of the following is a requirement for a valid real estate contract in Mississippi? Is it A, the contract must be oral, B, the contract must include an acknowledgement by a notary public, C, the contract must be signed by the parties involved, or D, the contract must be recorded at the county recorder's office? The answer is C, the contract must be signed by the parties involved. In Mississippi, a real estate contract must be in writing and signed by the parties to be legally enforceable. This requirement is in accordance with the statute of frauds. What is a requirement for a listing agreement in Mississippi? Is it A, must be notarized, B, may be verbal, C, must be in writing, or D, must include a contingent clause? The answer is C, must be in writing. In Mississippi, listing agreements must be in writing to be legally enforceable. This ensures clarity and compliance with state regulations. Which of the following is a mandatory disclosure in Mississippi real estate contracts? Is it A, proximity to schools, B, property flood zone status, C, age of the neighbors, or D, local crime rates? The answer is B, property flood zone status. Under Mississippi law, sellers must disclose specific factors that affect the value or safety of the property, such as flood zone status, to inform prospective buyers. Which entity oversees the enforcement of real estate license laws and contracts in Mississippi? Is it A, Mississippi Department of Real Estate, B, Mississippi Real Estate Commission, C, Federal Real Estate Regulatory Agency, or D, State Bar of Mississippi? The answer is B, Mississippi Real Estate Commission. The Mississippi Real Estate Commission administers and enforces real estate licensing laws and ensures compliance with contracts among licensed professionals. How does Mississippi law handle earnest money in real estate transactions? Is it A, it must be remitted to the state treasury, B, it is optional in real estate transactions, C, it must be placed in a broker's trust account until closing or termination, or D, it is non-refundable under any conditions? The answer is C, it must be placed in a broker's trust account until closing or termination. In Mississippi, earnest money is held in a broker's trust account and dispersed according to contractual agreements, ensuring the protection of buyer funds until resolution. What disclosure must be given to buyers under Mississippi real estate laws regarding property conditions? Is it A, seller's property condition disclosure statement, B, a lead paint disclosure only for all homes, C, no disclosures are mandatory, or D, an environmental hazards disclosure certified by the state? The answer is A, seller's property condition disclosure statement. Mississippi law requires sellers to provide prospective buyers with a property condition disclosure statement, sharing any known defects or issues with the property to ensure transparency.
If you're finding this helpful, please take a minute to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more practice exams, useful tips, and complimentary study sessions with Birdsey.
Disclosures required by Mississippi law. What is required under Mississippi law regarding disclosure of property defects? Is it A, there is no requirement for disclosure of defects? B, only disclose defects when asked by a potential buyer? C, disclose all known material defects? Or D, hire an inspector to certify no defects exist? The answer is C, disclose all known material defects. Mississippi law mandates sellers to disclose known material defects that could influence a buyer's decision, ensuring transparency throughout real estate transactions. Under Mississippi law, what documentation must licensees provide related to agency relationships? Is it A, certified survey of property? B, written agency disclosure form? C, property insurance quote? Or D, market analysis report? The answer is B, written agency disclosure form. The Mississippi Real Estate Commission requires a written agency disclosure form to inform consumers of the agent's representation and duties. Which condition mandates a disclosure under Mississippi's property disclosure laws? Is it A, the property is newly constructed? B, the property has a septic system? C, presence of lead-based paint? Or D, a home warranty is offered? The answer is C, presence of lead-based paint. Under Mississippi law, properties built before 1978 require disclosures about potential lead-based paint hazards, aligning with federal mandates. How long must Mississippi real estate licensees retain transaction documents for trust accounts? Is it A, 1 year, B, 3 years, C, 5 years, or D, 7 years? The answer is B, 3 years. Real estate practitioners in Mississippi must maintain transaction and trust account records for at least 3 years to comply with state auditing regulations. What hazard must be disclosed as part of Mississippi's property disclosure forms? Is it A, radon gas levels? B, asbestos presence? C, flood zone designation? Or D, historic property status? The answer is C, flood zone designation. Mississippi law requires disclosure when a property is located in a flood zone due to potential impact on insurability and property value. What is the legal consequence in Mississippi if a seller fails to disclose known material defects in a residential property? Is it A, the buyer can renegotiate the sales price? B, the seller will face no legal action? C, the buyer must close the sale but can sue for damages? Or D, the buyer can terminate the purchase agreement? The answer is D, the buyer can terminate the purchase agreement. In Mississippi, failing to disclose known material defects can allow the buyer to terminate the agreement or seek legal remedies against the seller for non-disclosure. Which of the following must be disclosed in Mississippi when selling a home built before 1978? Is it A, presence of lead-based paint hazards? B, the seller's reason for selling? C, the proximity of the home to a school district? Or D, the previous sale price of the home? The answer is A, presence of lead-based paint hazards. Mississippi requires sellers to disclose known lead-based paint hazards in homes built before 1978 due to the health risks associated with lead exposure. Transfer of title in Mississippi.
Notice the code in the corner? When you're stumped by a question, enter it at birdsey.ai for immediate help. Enjoy complimentary study sessions and access to hundreds of additional questions to help you pass your exam with confidence.
What type of deed is most commonly used in Mississippi to transfer real estate ownership with the fewest guarantees for the buyer? Is it A, warranty deed, B, quitclaim deed, C. grant deed, or D. bargain and sale deed? The answer is B. quitclaim deed. A quitclaim deed in Mississippi transfers whatever interest the grantor has in the property without guarantees, making it riskier for buyers, but commonly used in less formal transactions. Which entity in Mississippi is responsible for maintaining records of property ownership and deeds? Is it A. Mississippi Department of Revenue, B. Mississippi Real Estate Commission, C. County Clerk or Chancery Clerk's Office, or D. Mississippi Secretary of State? The answer is C. County Clerk or Chancery Clerk's Office. In Mississippi, the county clerk, often called the Chancery Clerk, maintains records of all real estate transactions, ensuring public access to property ownership details. What is required in Mississippi to effectively convey a deed of real estate? Is it A. an oral promise, B. a written contract, C. a written deed signed and delivered, or D. payment of property taxes? The answer is C. a written deed signed and delivered. The effective conveyance of a real estate deed in Mississippi requires that the deed be written, signed by the grantor, and physically delivered to the grantee. How does the concept of constructive notice apply to real estate transactions in Mississippi? Is it A. it ensures personal delivery of the deed to the buyer, B. it means the buyer is informed via certified mail, C. it requires disclosure of property defects, or D. it refers to the public recording of a deed? The answer is D. It refers to the public recording of a deed. Constructive notice in Mississippi means that once a deed is recorded, the public is aware of the property's change of ownership, providing legal notice to all parties. What must a grantor provide under Mississippi law when executing a deed transfer? Is it A. a survey of the property, B. a title insurance policy, C. proof of home inspection, or D. a valid legal description of the property? The answer is C. proof of home inspection. Under Mississippi law, a deed must include a valid legal description of the property to ensure that it is clearly and uniquely identified during the transfer process. What is required for a property transfer deed to be valid in Mississippi? Is it A. acknowledgement and notarization, B. witness signatures only, C. recording at the federal level, or D. surveyor's certificate? The answer is A. acknowledgement and notarization. In Mississippi, a deed must be acknowledged before a notary public to be valid and ready for recording, ensuring it's genuine and executed voluntarily by the grantor. Which document establishes ownership transfer when selling property in Mississippi? Is it A. bill of sale, B. title insurance, C. warranty deed, or D. lien? The answer is C. warranty deed. In Mississippi, a warranty deed is the standard instrument used to transfer real property ownership, offering guarantees about the property's clear title. Earnest money and trust accounts in Mississippi. In Mississippi, who is typically responsible for holding the earnest money deposit until closing? Is it A. the listing agent, B. a third-party escrow company, C. the broker in charge, or D. the buyer's attorney? The answer is C. the broker in charge. In Mississippi, earnest money is usually held in the broker's trust account. The broker in charge is responsible for ensuring that these funds are properly managed and documented. What is the primary purpose of a trust account in Mississippi real estate? Is it A. to provide a bonus account for successful transactions, B. to safeguard client funds during real estate transactions, C. to offer a tax shelter for real estate firms, or D. to create investment opportunities for brokers? The answer is B. to safeguard client funds during real estate transactions. In Mississippi, trust accounts protect clients' earnest money by keeping it separate from the broker's operating funds, ensuring it is used only for its intended transaction-related purposes. How soon must earnest money be deposited into a trust account after a real estate contract is signed in Mississippi? Is it A, immediately upon receipt, B, within 5 banking days, C, within 30 calendar days, or D, the same day the contract is signed? The answer is B, within 5 banking days. Mississippi law requires brokers to deposit earnest money into a trust account within 5 banking days of receipt to ensure proper safeguarding of the funds. What is the maximum time allowed by Mississippi law for a broker to deposit earnest money into a trust account after its receipt? Is it A, within 3 banking days, B, immediately, C, within 10 banking days, or D, at the end of the following month? The answer is A, within 3 banking days. In Mississippi, brokers are required by law to deposit earnest money into their trust account within 3 banking days after receipt. This regulation helps ensure the funds are handled securely and compliantly. What should a Mississippi broker do with interest accrued on an earnest money trust account? Is it A, keep it as part of the real estate firm's revenue, B, distribute it to the buyer, C, disperse it based on agreement terms or client instructions, or D, automatically add it to the earnest money deposit? The answer is C, disperse it based on agreement terms or client instructions. In Mississippi, the distribution of interest from trust accounts must align with the agreement terms between the parties. Brokers must handle it according to instructions specified in contracts or mutually agreed upon by clients. In Mississippi, what is the maximum time frame a broker has to deposit earnest money into a trust account after receiving it? Is it A, immediate deposit upon receipt, B, within 3 business days, C, within 7 calendar days, or D, by the end of the month? The answer is B, within 3 business days. Mississippi law mandates that brokers deposit earnest money into the trust account within 3 business days of receipt, ensuring timely and secure handling of funds in real estate transactions. Who is responsible for overseeing trust accounts in Mississippi to ensure compliance with real estate laws? Is it A, Real Estate Appraiser Board, B, State Licensing Board, C, Local Law Enforcement, or D, Real Estate Commission? The answer is D, Real Estate Commission. The Mississippi Real Estate Commission monitors trust accounts, ensuring brokers comply with regulations by implementing audits and offering guidance to safeguard public interests. Mississippi real estate taxes. Which entity is responsible for assessing property values for tax purposes in Mississippi? Is it A, Mississippi Department of Revenue, B, Mississippi Real Estate Commission, C, County Tax Assessor, or D, Local City Council? The answer is C, County Tax Assessor. In Mississippi, property values for tax purposes are assessed by the county tax assessor, who determines the value of properties within their jurisdiction according to state guidelines. What is the standard assessment ratio for residential property in Mississippi? Is it A, 30%, B, 10%, C, 15%, or D, 25%? The answer is B, 10%. Mississippi uses an assessment ratio of 10% for residential property, meaning that taxes are based on 10% of the property's market value rather than its full value. How often are property taxes generally due in Mississippi? Is it A, quarterly, B, annually, C, monthly, or D, biannually? The answer is B, annually. In Mississippi, property owners are usually required to pay property taxes annually, with the due date often set at the end of December for the current tax year. Which of the following exemptions can reduce property tax liability in Mississippi? Is it A, homestead exemption, B, investment property exemption, C, luxury home exemption, or D, vacant land exemption? The answer is A, homestead exemption. The homestead exemption in Mississippi reduces the tax liability for homeowners using the property as their primary residence, subject to certain conditions and filing requirements. When is the deadline for filing a property tax appeal in Mississippi? Is it A, January 1st, B, March 31st, C, August 1st, or D, generally within 30 days of assessment? The answer is D, generally within 30 days of assessment. Mississippi allows property owners to appeal their tax assessments, and such appeals must typically be filed within 30 days after the assessment notice is received. What is the basis for calculating property taxes in Mississippi? Is it A, market value, B, assessed value, C, replacement cost, or D, household income? The answer is B, assessed value. Mississippi calculates property taxes based on assessed value, which is a percentage of the property's true value as determined by the county tax assessor. This value is then multiplied by the millage rate to determine taxes owed. Which agency oversees the administration of property taxes in Mississippi? Is it A, Mississippi Department of Revenue, B, Mississippi Real Estate Commission, C, Mississippi Housing Authority, or D, Mississippi Planning Department? The answer is A, Mississippi Department of Revenue. The Mississippi Department of Revenue oversees property tax administration, ensuring compliance with state laws. Local tax assessors perform actual valuations and collections within their jurisdictions. Mississippi Real Estate Commission. What is the primary purpose of the Mississippi Real Estate Commission? Is it A, to set national standards for real estate practice, B, to regulate and license real estate professionals in Mississippi, C, to provide legal services to homebuyers, or D, to manage real estate transactions? The answer is B, to regulate and license real estate professionals in Mississippi. The Mississippi Real Estate Commission oversees the licensing and regulation of real estate professionals, ensuring adherence to state-specific laws and ethical standards. Which of the following is a requirement for maintaining a real estate license in Mississippi? Is it A, renewing the license every 6 months, B, completing continuing education requirements, C, submitting annual tax returns to MREC, or D, maintaining an active escrow account? The answer is B, completing continuing education requirements. Mississippi requires licensees to complete continuing education to maintain their real estate licenses, ensuring ongoing professional development and adherence to the latest regulations. What is one of the duties of a licensed Mississippi real estate broker? Is it A, to assist clients in becoming licensed, B, to conduct real estate appraisals, C, to supervise transactions and ensure compliance with state laws, or D, to ratify all sales agreements personally? The answer is C, to supervise transactions and ensure compliance with state laws. In Mississippi, real estate brokers are tasked with overseeing real estate transactions to ensure compliance with applicable state laws and ethical practices. Under Mississippi law, what must be disclosed by real estate agents to potential buyers? Is it A, only the age of the property, B, the agent's personal opinion on property value, C, previous ownership history, or D, material defects and environmental hazards? The answer is D, material defects and environmental hazards. Mississippi mandates that real estate agents disclose any known material defects and environmental hazards to potential buyers, ensuring transparency and informed decision-making. How does the MREC handle trust account violations by real estate brokers? Is it A, imposing yearly audits, B, revoking licenses or imposing fines, C, conducting real estate transactions directly, or D, granting immunity if reported within 30 days? The answer is B, revoking licenses or imposing fines. The Mississippi Real Estate Commission may impose fines or revoke licenses of brokers found in violation of trust account regulations, enforcing compliance and protecting client funds.
If you're finding this helpful, please take a minute to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more practice exams, useful tips, and complimentary study sessions with Birdsey.
Mississippi real estate licensing laws and regulations. What is the minimum age requirement to apply for a real estate salesperson license in Mississippi? Is it A, 18 years old, B, 19 years old, C, 20 years old, or D, 21 years old? The answer is D, 21 years old. In Mississippi, individuals must be at least 21 years old to obtain a real estate salesperson license, ensuring that applicants have sufficient maturity and responsibility. What is the continuing education requirement for Mississippi real estate license renewal? Is it A, 5 hours every 2 years, B, 15 hours every 2 years, C, 20 hours every 3 years, or D, 10 hours every 2 years? The answer is B, 15 hours every 2 years. Mississippi mandates that real estate licensees complete 15 hours of continuing education every 2 years to ensure license holders remain updated on industry practices and legal changes. Which of the following must be included in a listing agreement under Mississippi law? Is it A, the licensee's birth date, B, the property's assessed tax value, C, the expiration date of the agreement, or D, the seller's last 3 addresses? The answer is C, the expiration date of the agreement. A listing agreement in Mississippi must include an expiration date, thereby delineating the period for which the real estate agent is authorized to represent the seller. Under Mississippi real estate law, what is the maximum allowable time to deposit earnest money into a trust account? Is it A, next business day, B, 5 business days, C, 10 business days, or D, 7 business days? The answer is B, 5 business days. Mississippi law stipulates that brokers must deposit earnest money into a trust account within 5 business days, ensuring timely handling of client funds and legal compliance. In Mississippi, which condition must be disclosed by sellers to potential buyers under state law? Is it A, presence of neighbors with criminal records, B, knowledge of past termite infestation, C, upcoming community events, or D, school district ratings? The answer is B, knowledge of past termite infestation. Mississippi law requires sellers to disclose known conditions such as past termite infestations, helping to protect and inform prospective buyers involved in real estate transactions. What is required for a real estate broker license in Mississippi? Is it A, completion of 60 hours of pre-license education, B, passing the national and state-specific portions of the broker exam, C, 2 years of full-time real estate sales experience, or D, completion of 120 hours of education, including salesperson hours? The answer is D, completion of 120 hours of education, including salesperson hours. To obtain a broker license in Mississippi, one must complete 120 hours of education, which includes the 60 hours for a salesperson license. This ensures individuals meet both educational and experiential requirements. In Mississippi, Which entity is responsible for setting regulations for real estate licensees? Is it A, Mississippi Association of Realtors, B, Mississippi Department of Finance and Administration, C, Mississippi Real Estate Commission, or D, Mississippi Property Law Division? The answer is C, Mississippi Real Estate Commission. The Mississippi Real Estate Commission is tasked with regulating real estate licensing and ensuring compliance with state laws among licensees. Let's continue with a review of Mississippi real estate finance. Loan fundamentals. In Mississippi, what is a common consequence of a borrower defaulting on a mortgage loan? Is it A, automatic transfer of property ownership to the lender, B, the lender initiates foreclosure proceedings to reclaim the property, C, immediate property auction without any notice, or D, the lender is allowed to increase interest rates? The answer is B, the lender initiates foreclosure proceedings to reclaim the property. In Mississippi, lenders utilize the foreclosure process to reclaim property when a borrower defaults on a mortgage loan. This involves legal procedures to sell the property and recover the owed debt. Which regulation must Mississippi lenders adhere to when assessing a borrower for a loan? Is it A, Mississippi Loan Evaluation Act, B, Fair Credit Reporting Act, C, Mississippi Residential Lending Act, or D, Truth in Lending Act? The answer is C, Mississippi Residential Lending Act. The Mississippi Residential Lending Act governs lenders by setting forth guidelines on assessing borrower eligibility and financial stability for residential loans. Its provisions ensure fairness and transparency in loan granting. What must be included in the Mississippi Mortgage Loan Disclosure Statement? Is it A, detailed history of past property owners, B, the terms and conditions of the loan, C, a list of comparable properties in the neighborhood, or D, the full repayment schedule, including potential penalties? The answer is B, the terms and conditions of the loan. The Mississippi Mortgage Loan Disclosure Statement must detail information about the loan's terms and conditions. Transparency here is crucial for borrower understanding and compliance with state finance laws. How does Mississippi law define the accrual of interest during a loan's grace period? Is it A, interest accrues daily and is payable at the end of the grace period, B, interest is paused during the grace period, C, interest only accrues if explicitly stated in the loan agreement, or D, no interest accrues until full payment is overdue? The answer is A, interest accrues daily and is payable at the end of the grace period. In Mississippi, during a loan's grace period, interest typically accrues daily and becomes payable at the period's end. This aligns with state lending practices, emphasizing transparency and borrower awareness. What is a deficiency judgment under Mississippi real estate law? Is it A, a claim made by the lender for the unpaid balance after foreclosure, B, court sanction against illegal property occupation, C, an increase in property taxes due to late payment, or D, a reduction in loan interest due to prompt payments? The answer is A, a claim made by the lender for the unpaid balance after foreclosure. In Mississippi, a deficiency judgment allows lenders to claim the unpaid balance if a property's sale via foreclosure doesn't settle the defaulted debt. This ensures lenders can recover losses. What is the primary purpose of the Mississippi Real Estate Commission's regulations on mortgage lending? Is it A, to mandate maximum loan amounts across the state, B, to generate additional state revenue from real estate transactions, C, to encourage lenders to increase interest rates on loans, or D, to protect consumers from fraudulent lending practices? The answer is D, to protect consumers from fraudulent lending practices. Mississippi's regulations focus on protecting consumers by ensuring that mortgage lending practices are transparent and fair, preventing fraud and misrepresentation. What happens when a borrower defaults on a loan under Mississippi real estate law? Is it A, the lender initiates foreclosure proceedings to recover the owed funds? B, the borrower's assets are immediately liquidated to satisfy the debt? C, the loan automatically converts to grant status? Or D, the borrower is given a permanent loan modification without penalties? The answer is A, the lender initiates foreclosure proceedings to recover the owed funds. In Mississippi, upon borrower default, lenders typically initiate foreclosure proceedings, which is the process to legally repossess and sell the collateral property. Loan types, FF, etc. In Mississippi, which type of loan typically requires a lower down payment and offers more lenient credit requirements? Is it A, conventional loan? B, Federal Housing Administration, FHA loan? C, U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, VA loan? Or D, jumbo loan? The answer is B, Federal Housing Administration, FHA loan. FHA loans in Mississippi are designed to help first-time homebuyers or those with limited credit history by requiring a lower down payment and offering more lenient credit requirements compared to conventional loans. What is a unique feature of a VA loan in Mississippi? Is it A, they require mortgage insurance? B, only available to first-time homebuyers? C, require a 20% down payment? Or D, higher interest rates than conventional loans? The answer is A, they require mortgage insurance. VA loans in Mississippi do not require private mortgage insurance, which reduces the overall cost for eligible veterans using this type of loan. What is a key characteristic of a Mississippi USDA loan? Is it A, available only in urban areas? B, requires a large down payment? C, income limits for applicants? Or D, only for investment properties? The answer is C, income limits for applicants. USDA loans in Mississippi have income eligibility requirements to assist low to moderate income borrowers in rural areas with affordable housing options with no down payment. Which statement about PMI for conventional loans in Mississippi is true? Is it A, PMI is required regardless of the down payment? B, PMI automatically cancels at 10% equity? C, PMI protects the lender from default risk? Or D, PMI is exclusive to government-backed loans? The answer is C, PMI protects the lender from default risk. Private mortgage insurance in Mississippi protects the lender from default risk when the borrower's down payment is less than 20% of the property's value. Why might a borrower in Mississippi choose a conventional loan over an FHA loan? Is it A, lesser interest rates guaranteed? B, avoid funding fee? C, more flexible qualification criteria? Or D, eligible for government subsidies? The answer is B, avoid funding fee. Borrowers in Mississippi might choose conventional loans to avoid FHA's upfront mortgage insurance premium funding fee when they can provide a 20% down payment, eliminating PMI requirements. What is a major advantage of a Mississippi FHA loan compared to a conventional loan? Is it A, lower down payment requirements? B, no mortgage insurance required? C, available only for new homes? Or D, higher credit score requirements? The answer is A, lower down payment requirements. In Mississippi, FHA loans are commonly chosen for their lower down payment requirements compared to conventional loans, facilitating access to homeownership for first-time buyers. Which of the following is a specific benefit of a VA loan in Mississippi? Is it A, no minimum property standards? B, flexible interest rates? C, no appraisal needed? Or D, zero down payment required? The answer is D, zero down payment required. VA loans in Mississippi provide the benefit of requiring no down payment, making them an attractive option for eligible veterans and active duty military members. Loan qualifications. What is a crucial factor lenders in Mississippi consider when determining loan qualification for a borrower? Is it A, interest rate offered by competitors, B, the borrower's debt-to-income ratio, C, the number of dependents in the borrower's household, or D, state tax rates? The answer is B, the borrower's debt-to-income ratio. Lenders often use the debt-to-income ratio to evaluate a borrower's financial health and ability to repay the loan, which is a significant criterion in Mississippi's loan qualification process. Which type of documentation is not typically required for verifying borrower qualifications in Mississippi? Is it A, recent pay stubs, B, bank statements, C, proof of residency, or D, tax returns? The answer is C, proof of residency. Standard loan documentation in Mississippi includes income verification, bank statements, and tax returns, but not proof of residency, which is typically not required for loan qualification. In Mississippi, what role does a borrower's credit score play in loan qualification? Is it A, determines the borrower's eligibility for government assistance, B, indicates the borrower's trustworthiness to lenders, C, ensures the borrower gets the lowest interest rate available, or D, identifies the borrower's employment history? The answer is B, indicates the borrower's trustworthiness to lenders. In Mississippi, a borrower's credit score is a significant factor in loan qualification as it presents the borrower's creditworthiness, affecting terms and conditions offered by lenders. What is the minimum down payment required for an FHA loan in Mississippi if the borrower has a credit score above 580? Is it A, 0%, B, 3.5%, C, 5%, or D, 10%? The answer is B, 3.5%. In Mississippi, for FHA loans, a borrower needs to make a minimum 3.5% down payment if their credit score is 580 or higher, which is standard for FHA-insured loans. Which of the following can positively impact a borrower's ability to qualify for a loan in Mississippi? Is it A, having outstanding unpaid parking tickets, B, lack of recent credit activity, C, frequent address changes in a short period, or D, possessing a stable job with increasing income? The answer is D, possessing a stable job with increasing income. In Mississippi, a stable job with increasing income suggests financial security and growth, positively affecting loan eligibility by assuring lenders of the borrower's capability to make payments. What is the minimum credit score requirement for a conventional loan approval in Mississippi? Is it A, 620, B, 580, C, 500, or D, 700? The answer is A, 620. In Mississippi, as with many other states, a credit score of 620 is generally the minimum required for conventional loan approval by lenders. The loan application process. What is a unique requirement in Mississippi when completing the real estate purchase loan application? Is it A, including an RSPA form, B, listing the marital status of the applicant, C, providing 3 years of tax returns, or D, attaching a copy of the applicant's credit score? The answer is B, listing the marital status of the applicant. In Mississippi, the disclosure of marital status on loan applications is important due to the state's adherence to equitable distribution laws. This is critical during the application evaluation process. Which agency in Mississippi oversees the adherence to real estate loan application procedures? Is it A, Mississippi Real Estate Commission, B, Federal Trade Commission, C, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, or D, Department of Housing and Urban Development? The answer is A, Mississippi Real Estate Commission. The Mississippi Real Estate Commission is responsible for ensuring adherence to state-specific real estate loan procedures, maintaining oversight and regulation of associated activities. During the loan application process in Mississippi, what must be disclosed regarding the property condition? Is it A, the age of the property, B, the number of previous owners, C, the presence of lead-based paint for homes built before 1978, or D, the last appraisal value? The answer is C, the presence of lead-based paint for homes built before 1978. Mississippi mandates disclosure regarding lead-based paint for properties constructed before 1978, aligning with both state and federal safety and environmental regulations. What is a potential reason for loan application denial specific to Mississippi state requirements? Is it A, failure to disclose previous rental income, B, incomplete floor plan details, C, lack of recent work history, or D, high levels of student loan debt? The answer is A, failure to disclose previous rental income. Lenders require full financial disclosure in Mississippi, and rental income is considered substantial. Failure to provide its details can lead to denial due to perceived risk and compliance issues. What specific document might Mississippi lenders require during the loan application process to evidence creditors' rights? Is it A, a standard mortgage note, B, a deed of trust, C, an escrow waiver agreement, or D, an ownership affidavit? The answer is B, a deed of trust. Mississippi often uses a deed of trust, implicating specific parties in loan agreements, differentiating it from standard mortgages by involving a trustee to secure the lender's interest. What primary document is required to initiate the mortgage loan application process in Mississippi? Is it A, credit report, B, purchase agreement, C, loan application form, or D, appraisal report? The answer is C, loan application form. The loan application form, often called a 1003 form, is essential in the mortgage process as it provides the lender with necessary borrower information. In Mississippi, which act requires comprehensive disclosure of loan terms and costs to applicants? Is it A, Fair Credit Reporting Act, B, Mississippi Consumer Credit Protection Act, C, Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act, or D, Mississippi Truth in Lending Act? The answer is D, Mississippi Truth in Lending Act. Mississippi Truth in Lending Act ensures transparency in loan terms and fees, aligning with broader state consumer protection laws. Underwriting for Mississippi real estate. Which entity regulates the underwriting standards for real estate loans in Mississippi? Is it A, Mississippi Securities and Lending Authority, B, Federal Housing Finance Agency, C, Mississippi Real Estate Commission, or D, Mississippi Department of Banking and Consumer Finance? The answer is D, Mississippi Department of Banking and Consumer Finance. The Mississippi Department of Banking and Consumer Finance regulates financial entities in Mississippi, ensuring adherence to state banking laws and consumer protections. What is a key factor that underwriters consider when evaluating mortgage applications in Mississippi? Is it A, the borrower's credit score, B, the location of the nearest Mississippi real estate office, C, the applicant's car loan amount, or D, the size of the property? The answer is A, the borrower's credit score. Credit scores are critical in underwriting as they reflect a potential borrower's past repayment history and likelihood of paying mortgage loans on time. How must trust accounts be managed by Mississippi real estate brokers? Is it A, funds must be commingled with personal accounts, B, Regular audits are required to maintain compliance. C. They are not subject to specific regulations. Or D. They must be held in out-of-state accounts. The answer is B. Regular audits are required to maintain compliance. Regular audits ensure compliance with Mississippi state regulations, preventing mismanagement and protecting clients' funds held in trust accounts by real estate brokers. What must be disclosed in a real estate transaction under Mississippi law? Is it A. Previous owner's personal data, B. Known property defects, C. The decision pending on zoning laws, or D. Local school rankings? The answer is B. Known property defects. Mississippi requires disclosure of known defects to ensure buyers are informed about material facts affecting property value or habitability. Why is flood zone status significant in Mississippi underwriting? Is it A. It affects the property's aesthetic value, B. It determines the property's agricultural value, C. It impacts property insurance requirements and risk assessment, or D. It affects the interest rates directly? The answer is C. It impacts property insurance requirements and risk assessment. Properties in flood zones in Mississippi require flood insurance and are evaluated for flood risk, crucial in underwriting for assessing loan terms and insurance needs. What is the primary purpose of underwriting in Mississippi real estate transactions? Is it A. to negotiate property prices, B. to assess the risk of lending to a borrower, C. to manage trust accounts, or D. to perform property inspections? The answer is B. to assess the risk of lending to a borrower. Underwriting is crucial in determining whether the borrower presents an acceptable risk. It involves reviewing financial documents and property appraisal to ensure compliance with Mississippi lending standards. Loan closing. What is a requirement for a real estate loan closing in Mississippi? Is it A. presence of an attorney, B. recording of the deed, C. verification of all inspection reports, or D. a title review by the buyer? The answer is B. recording of the deed. In Mississippi, the deed must be recorded with the Chancery Clerk to protect the buyer's ownership rights and provide public notice of the transaction. Which agency regulates real estate loan transactions in Mississippi? Is it A. Securities and Exchange Commission, B. Federal Reserve System, C. Mississippi Real Estate Commission, or D. Mississippi Department of Banking and Consumer Finance? The answer is D. Mississippi Department of Banking and Consumer Finance. The Mississippi Department of Banking and Consumer Finance regulates banks and other lenders, ensuring compliance with state laws in real estate loan transactions. In a Mississippi loan closing, who ensures title is clear before recording the deed? Is it A. lender, B. escrow officer, C. title company, or D. real estate agent? The answer is C. title company. The title company reviews the deed and history of property ownership to clear any encumbrances, ensuring that the title can be legally transferred. Which party traditionally pays closing costs in a Mississippi real estate transaction? Is it A. buyer only, B. seller only, C. both buyer and seller, or D. mortgage lender? The answer is C. both buyer and seller. In Mississippi, closing costs can be negotiated between the buyer and the seller, who commonly share these costs. The distribution may vary based on agreements in the transaction. What document is essential for verifying the financial aspects of a real estate closing in Mississippi? Is it A. title insurance policy, B. closing disclosure, C. homeowner's insurance policy, or D. purchase agreement? The answer is B. closing disclosure. The closing disclosure is crucial as it provides a comprehensive outline of loan terms and closing costs, ensuring both parties understand the financial obligations and distribution. What document is used to ensure that the buyer takes responsibility for the existing mortgage during a loan closing in Mississippi? Is it A, deed of trust, B, assumption agreement, C, quitclaim deed, or D, warranty deed? The answer is B, assumption agreement. In Mississippi loan closings, an assumption agreement is used when the buyer assumes the seller's existing mortgage. This legally obligates the buyer to take responsibility for the mortgage under the original terms. In Mississippi, which entity is primarily responsible for ensuring that all documents are recorded properly at closing? Is it A, title insurance company, B, escrow agent, C, attorney, or D, lender? The answer is C, attorney. In Mississippi, attorneys often handle the closing process. They ensure the proper recording of documents to guarantee the legality and enforceability of real estate transactions. Mississippi Mortgage Disclosure Requirements. What is the primary purpose of the Mississippi Mortgage Disclosure Act? Is it A, to limit the number of loans a borrower can obtain, B, to regulate interest rates charged by lenders, C, to prohibit predatory lending practices, or D, to provide borrowers with essential information on closing costs and loan terms? The answer is D, to provide borrowers with essential information on closing costs and loan terms. The Mississippi Mortgage Disclosure Act aims to ensure borrowers are fully informed about the costs and terms associated with their mortgage. It mandates that lenders provide detailed disclosures to protect consumers and promote fair lending practices. Under Mississippi law, when must a lender provide the mortgage disclosure to a borrower? Is it A, within 3 business days of receiving a loan application, B, at least 3 business days before closing, C, at the time of closing, or D, within 24 hours of the loan approval? The answer is B, at least 3 business days before closing. In Mississippi, mortgage disclosures must be provided to the borrower at least 3 business days before the closing date. This allows borrowers sufficient time to review the terms and address any concerns. What information is specifically required to be disclosed under the Mississippi mortgage disclosure laws? Is it A, the borrower's credit score, B, the total amount of interest paid over the life of the loan, C, the lender's profit margin over the loan, or D, the mortgage originator's educational background? The answer is B, the total amount of interest paid over the life of the loan. Mississippi requires the disclosure of the total amount of interest paid over the loan's duration. This ensures that borrowers are aware of the long-term financial implications of their mortgage. How does the Mississippi Real Estate Commission ensure compliance with mortgage disclosure requirements? Is it A, through random audits of lenders, B, by setting lending limits on all mortgages, C, by requiring borrower testimonials, or D, by approving each mortgage application individually? The answer is A, through random audits of lenders. To ensure that lenders comply with mortgage disclosure laws, the Mississippi Real Estate Commission may conduct random audits. This approach helps in monitoring and enforcing accurate adherence to the regulations. What may happen if a lender fails to provide required disclosures under Mississippi law? Is it A, immediate foreclosure on the property, B, the lender may increase the interest rate on the loan, C, the borrower can withdraw from the agreement without penalty, or D, automatic approval of the loan application? The answer is C, the borrower can withdraw from the agreement without penalty. If a lender fails to provide the required mortgage disclosures in Mississippi, the borrower may have the right to withdraw from the agreement without incurring penalties. This ensures that borrowers are protected from uninformed decision-making. What is the primary purpose of the Mississippi Mortgage Disclosure Act? Is it A, to promote transparency in mortgage agreements, B, to regulate interstate mortgage transactions, C, to set national mortgage disclosure standards, or D, to establish mortgage rates in Mississippi? The answer is A, to promote transparency in mortgage agreements. The Mississippi Mortgage Disclosure Act is designed to enhance consumer understanding by ensuring clear communication and transparency in mortgage terms within the state.
Thanks for joining us today. If you found this video helpful, subscribe to our channel for more practice exams, tips, and tricks. And don't forget to visit birdsey.ai for complimentary study sessions with Birdsey, your AI-powered study partner.